and this is probably a better question to ask than, hey, what do you think should improve? But to you, what makes a good experience at a racetrack, and what makes a good race?
Well, I think right off the get-go, when you come to the gate, your price has to be fair. Now, I'm not one that has to be a real low price, because I feel you need to you have to charge what you feel that show is worth. So if you're thinking you're gonna throw a good show out there and you got a little higher tag, I'm never going to question that if I come through that gate and it is. But I think concession prices, I think there again in the asphalt world are normal higher than what the dirt guys are. So I think our asphalt concessions are, now some of them run specials and that, and I think that's a good thing. One thing, and I won't go anymore. I'm only wanting a couple divisions, 3 at the most.
Yeah,
I want them races done. I'm one of these guys that I want to be at that place for about 3 hours, and that's it. Now the old fans years ago didn't really mind, but in the younger people now, their attention spans 2.5, 3 hours. So I'm not just saying for me, but and I want it lined up. And I want it going. And we don't need big intermissions. And I guess the driver introductions in the cars probably not the worst thing. Usually everybody's talking. It's hard to listen to the driver introductions anyways.
Sure, okay.
But, I mean, that can add to a show. And I understand that promoter has to have that some leeway to sell them concessions. I get that, But I want to show in and done, especially on a weekly show. I want to be out there by 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10. And I think you would ask, and what just boils my blood is when you're at a show and all these divisions, and then they throw fireworks and stuff like that, and now it's huge late at night. And here's families leaving at 10 o'clock with the little ones sleeping.
Yeah.
That just ruined it. That ruined it for that family and that's hard. How are you going to get them back? So a quick run show, organized, and I know you're going to have problems. You're going to have the big blowed motor that's going to cause issues.
Yeah.
You're never going to get around that, and everybody will understand that. But when you're diddling around and screwing around, you're asking for trouble with the new fan. And
if there's something I can completely agree with, it's having. Yeah, I mean, having the couple divisions, the 3 divisions, and I know you want to have divisions for stepping stones and things like that, and you can rotate things throughout the year,
right?
And maybe I'll have someone on here at some point that tells me, hey, well, this is why I need to have 5 or 6, and I'll see, but I don't think I'll ever really change my mind on that, anyways, but. I had a lot of people that loved coming to watch me during Tundra Series races when it was 3 divisions.
Sure.
And like, hey, when you run another Tundra race, you guys only run 3 divisions. Can't wait to watch that.
In and out.
And exactly, exactly. I think that's a huge thing.
Right. Yeah, and when you're if you're running a 250 lapper. Now they ran. What did you guys have at just the 2 divisions? Right at the Joe Shear race.
Yeah, the
trucks and the supers.
Trucks did 36 because there's 36 for Joe Shear, and then we had
perfect race, perfect. The Dells, I think the Life for 5, I think are 3 divisions, and they run them pretty efficient. You know what I mean, so you're usually out of there, and I think it opens an opportunity for you for sponsorship too. If you can go to some of these bars and that and say, I'll have them people out here at 9:30, 10 o'clock on a normal night. And then, we can, I always thought and rotate it around, but, and I don't know if they do this anymore, but the guys that wanted to get paid cash just say, well, we're going to do it at Club Forest this night, or we'll do it at this bar in this town, or, you know what I mean? And switch it around. I mean, just trying to get that business involved. And it doesn't have to be a bar. It can you can do other things, but I I just like a great show like that, you know.
Yeah.
And I like good. You know, have you been to Jefferson? You know,
Only to race.
yeah. So this race, the Midwest Tour race is there Saturday, and I'll go down to that. And he'll run a couple more divisions than normal, but he's so efficient. And
Okay.
and that facility is clean, and it's mowed grass, and it's all his buildings are painted, and he's got that big beautiful bar, and his concessions, all his workers are in white. You know what I mean? It looks like something from.
I was really impressed the first time I ever went down there, just like, and just in general in Jefferson, like, just like the race fans down there. I mean, like those people, I mean,
there's
they were
another
there to
great
race.
town. There's a great area.
Yeah.
They're in. But like I say, it's never hard to find a worker there because they look from the 50s. It looks like when we were racing in the 70s. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And his buildings are just so nice looking, and so and they've always sort of marched to their own tune, you know. They always sort of ran their own pro late rules, and you know, they are running, I guess, a couple more super specials than they used to over the years. But I think he can do it. I really do, and I think he draws good. I don't know their weekly race, and he must do okay because they did it for years, you know, and they run, but just a great run place. So we'll go there. We'll go there Saturday night. I know we'll be out of there early.
Okay.
You know.
Now I know the Dassaus own it now.
Yep.
Have you, like, in the last couple of years, have you been to like Slinger on a Sunday show?
Not on this. Let's see. I got to think about this. I did go to an opener here about 2 years ago, and then I've been to the Nationals.
Okay.
So I got there at least once a year, and then.
Okay. Yeah. So I had been to the Nationals a handful of times. I mean, that was still, gosh, that was almost 10 years ago now, thinking about it. But they did a remembrance night. They do a remembrance night every year. And last year, one of the people that they honored was my grandpa. So my uncle and I went down there. I was so impressed with the way they ran that show.
Yeah.
The checkered flag was flying. The cars were heading off the track. Last car was off the track, and the next.
Dang.
I mean, they were out, and and it was the same thing.
Was
like,
that a Sunday night?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, you have to do that.
And I can't remember what time we were out of there, but I looked at my watch. I was like, man, we're already out of here. And like, this is a great night. And like, you know, of course,
Sure.
you have wrecks and there's stuff to clean up. And
Yeah.
it was a really good night. I was like, and I don't go to a lot of races and just watch. So when I went there, I was like, wow, this is great.
Yeah. No, that says a lot, you know. That says an awful lot. That, and then you'll go there. A guy will tend to go there more, knowing, you know, I'm not going to be here all night. Then, you know, if you want to even get home and get to bed early, say you start work, or if you just don't want to spend all day at a track, you know.
Yeah, you got an hour and a half drive back home.
Yeah, you might have a little bit, and that's another thing. It's with me, if I know I'm going to get out of there fairly good, I'll take a chance, you know, and drive that couple hours because I know I'm going to make that up, you know, getting on the road quicker. So